ghost ride the rave, ghost. I'ma ghost ride the rave. I wanna look at the stars today, ghost. I'ma ghost ride the rave, ghost.
What's up, guys? Ghost AK here again, another video. Just got back from Portland, very tired, so bear with me on this video. But just got top 16 with the Dragon Link deck. Yes, you heard it right, Dragon Link. A little evolved though. There are some Orcust, some additions I changed from that VIP qualifier tournament. Speaking of the VIP qualifier tournament, it was a blast sitting in that section. It's a huge advantage getting that. I'm jealous of all you UDS winners. It's awesome. Hopefully I can try and get more going from here on out. It's a huge advantage. So we'll get into the list, kind of show a little bit of it. I'm going to do another combo video after this. It's going to be a separate video, so be sure to check that out as well. Show you kind of my standard combo with just a little variation. And yeah, we'll just get into the deck. I'll talk about matchups and shoutouts after that. So we'll start with the monsters. First off, we got our starters, 3 Draconet. Went with this one over the Mathematician, only because if you have the Galaxy Serpent in hand, you can't like this. Bringing out the Galaxy Serpent was a lot easier than relying on the Carboneton and being susceptible to Lancia. Also, if you open Carboneton in Mathematician, you can't do that combo either. So this was just the more consistent level 3. You'll notice a big difference I did in this list is I focused it more on level 4 and 1, and then also level 3 and 2 to make the IB. So it's not just the Dino engine anymore, especially with the Orcust. You want to make sure you're going to start your combo and then be able to finish with the Orcust combo. And I'll go into the combo video on the next one, so we'll get into that later. But then the next 3 starters, your 3 Raptors, 3 S normals in the back. You can special it off Saryuja, get Miscellaneousaurus. Not really much else to say. It's 1800, a lot bigger than these guys. It's a consistent engine for this deck. So you got the 3 other dinosaurs that go with that. Miscellaneous Dracalo. I still think this is needed. It's good to chain block to be able to, negate, like, they can't Valor this if you can chain. If they have sets, you can preemptively discard this, then summon the Raptor so they can't solemn it. Things like that. It also helps it later in the combo, just getting an extra monster that's not a vanilla, so I can make the Galatea. And then also just being a 1-star tuner with like Nessie, even Orcust Nightmare sometimes I can get into that Boral Savage. Just too consistent. I really like this engine. I liked the Gillosaurus as well to be another level 3 to summon, but it wasn't as consistent. There was still a lot of times where his effect drawback really came up, them getting a monster back. Wasn't worth playing the Gillosaurus. Carboneton, don't need to say much. That's obvious. The targets for Carboneton, you got the 2 vanillas. Did not go with the level 4 this time. Went with the level 2, mainly because it synergizes with the dangers more. It's just more consistent. The unexpected dies were not as consistent with danger effects and trying to extend through combos. You always had to start with the unexpected die, and then it's more susceptible later in the combo because they know every card you have. Versus danger effects, you can kind of slow roll into the combo and change the variation of the combo as you're doing it. And then the obvious brick World Chalice Guard Dragon. Got to run that common so you don't draw, guys. Like, gotta do the common. That's it for the starters, kind of important packages. Then we got the Rockets. We're still playing the Dragons. Still a Dragon Link, even though took out a lot of dragons, you'll see, but still playing this main package. It's just too good. Quick launch with a level 4 gives you your IB. This gives you your Boral Savage. There are rare times you can Boral Sword target this guy and be able to rip 2 from the extra deck, which you'll see a spicy card in the extra deck later. The main part of the combo was ripping out of their extra deck. So basic engine. I don't think you need more level 4s. You don't want to brick with them. You do want targets in the deck to summon off quick launch, but I think 3 is fine. That's all you need. Especially in this version of the deck where we're going Orcust. You got to make sure you're as consistent as possible. You can't run as many bricks in the deck. So continuing with the dragons, the red med, obviously. Can't play dragons without this card right now. And then my big thing to summon off the Heradic, probably won me most of the games the whole weekend, the Koakimiro Drago. Pretty much, I'll show you guys in the combo, so be sure to check that out. When I end on my normal board and I Heradic Seal bouncing into it, usually I'll shotgun it in standby phase if I know the deck I'm playing because I get a look at their extra deck. And then I'll bounce either like the Link that's equipped to Savage or my World Legacy Guard Dragon bring out the Drago. He's 0/0, but I have Dingrisu on the board. So if they try to attack over it, I can protect it twice. You can only normal summon once. You can't special lighter darks. So if you're playing a lighter dark deck, this is pretty much auto win. Almost every time I summoned him against lighter dark decks, it was auto win. They just scooped, we went to the next game. Other decks like Salmon Great, Striker, a little bit more rougher matchup. This isn't really your go-to play, but you'll know what you're playing because of the Trish effect. So, and you'll see that later in the extra deck. Best card probably that won me a lot of games in the deck. Then we got the Danger Engine. Obviously, you got the Nessies, the Snakes, the Jackalopes. I wanted to play a little bit extra extenders, so I did add 2 extra Dangers to this list. I went away from the Mothman for a little bit, but these just really help you extend the plays, gives you your Orcust combo a lot easier. The big reason I threw the Chupacabra in last second really just extends as another level 3 or level 7 later in the combo. Essentially is another Jackalope for me if I had to use Jackalope effect in that turn. It just makes it more consistent ways where I can get that extra monster out to finish that Orcust combo. And it also is a good side out target because this card is not the best danger. And there's not a lot of these cards I'm willing to side out when I'm in certain matchups. So it gives me one little flex. So good Danger Engine. I don't think I'd add any more. You don't need the level 8s. We don't play rank 8s. And then we got the Orcust. So yes, it's not just Dragon Link anymore. Kind of evolving and mixing it up. You'll see why when I show you guys the combo, but this really adds getting that Dingrisu at the end to protect that Drago, or protect any of your other monsters that negates, protect your Seal that can bounce. It's huge. Now, the biggest thing is the reason I didn't want to play Orcust and the reason I didn't like any of the dark decks. If you guys watched my last video, I was really afraid of Super Poly, and I really based that deck off making sure I didn't end on 2 darks at the same time where they could Super Poly me, so it forced them into bringing out their own dark and essentially using 3 cards to Super Poly me rather than just the 2. However, in this deck I found a new little tech with that Trishula, which you'll see in the extra, where I can just look at the extra deck and get rid of the Starving Venom, so when I pass, even though I have 4 dark monsters on my field, they can't Super Poly me because there's nothing in their extra deck. So it worked every single time I did it except for one game. Shoutouts to the Necros, my other king, Abraham King. Good games to you, man, but that was strong. I Trishula'd, looked at his extra deck, and there was 2 Starving Venoms, and on the next turn he Super Poly'd me and Spear Moded me, so that nothing I could do to that game. But Orcust Engine, there's nothing to explain really here. You could maybe play another Horror, some builds do that, but this deck is very combo, playing a lot of engines together. You have to play as slim as possible, so that's it for the Orcust Engine. That's it for the monsters, actually. So going into the spells, we have your 3 Fossil Dig. Main reason this deck is so consistent with that Solean Overraptor, searching Carbonetton, discarding it off a Danger, discarding it for your Nightmare effect, or even later in the combo getting Miscellaneousaurus. This card is just, it's insane. Not once per turn. This card's the best extender on it. Best starter and extender in the deck. Obviously, the 3 Quick Launch, definitely another starter extender that really helps this deck be consistent, push through. Really, this is what your easiest way to get your Savage on top of the board that I'll show you guys in the combo. The Savage isn't guaranteed with the combo of just like doing it standard, but it's variant. So as long as you have, let's say, like a 1-star tuner and a Danger, you're fine. Or a Quick Launch, you're fine. Like, there's variations of ways where you can have the combo and still be able to end the Savage. This is just the easiest one. So obviously 3. Then we have our make sure our combo resolves. 3 Call by the Graves. And I wish it was not at 1, but more. Midbreaker Field. This card was insane for me. Being able to make sure everything could resolve, make sure I couldn't get gnomed, Impermanence Veiler. And then even when I passed and I had my entire board, they still couldn't do, like, you know, any destruction effects, any targeting effects, anything that they wanted to try and get over the board easy. It was a lot harder because of this card. Honestly, it probably should stay at 1, but this deck would be a lot better if it was back at 3, but we'll see what we get the next list. These are pretty explanatory, though. The biggest thing I could say on this, though, is I don't play the Dragon's Ravine anymore, and that's the reason I threw this in. When I was using the Dragon's Ravine, they just conflict too much, not being able to activate it over. I felt this was just a lot stronger for the Orcust combo to resolve, and you didn't really need the Dragon's Ravine and the Dragoonity Link anymore to finish the full combo, so I can show you guys that in other video. So, and then the last couple cards, we have the World Legacy Guard Dragon, of course. I only played the one. I see a lot of people playing multiples or playing both of the World Legacy cards that you can search. Honestly, I like the Succession, but I don't like how it can't start your plays. You need a Link Zone to point, where this actually can help you enable, like, if you set this, use a danger effect, discard a dragon, it can really help you start your plays as well. Obviously, you don't want to do that, but it's just an application if you do draw it. And I'd rather just keep it slim. I don't want to open multiples. They're only once per turn. You got to keep this deck as consistent as possible. And then the one Foolish, obviously, playing all the dragons, all the Orcust monsters. It's literally the best card I could open in my deck. It helps extend the combo insane. And last card, obviously, Orcust Crescendo for the Orcust board, which you guys will see in the next video. 42 in the main. I think we had 12 spells, 1 trap, and yeah, 29 monsters. So wanted to keep it down to 40. Honestly, if I had to change anything, I might cut that Chupacabra and maybe one other card. I don't know if I'd go as far as the Mothman, but I definitely would try to get it down to 40 just to make this deck as consistent as possible. So we'll go to extra deck next. Obviously, we have the 3 Guard Dragons. It's the heart of the deck. Definitely, if you're stopping the Orcust combo, I still have this combo. Or if you stop this combo, I still have the Orcust combo. So they play off each other very well. You just got to make sure you don't lock yourself and make sure you know the rulings on these cards, because that's how I let myself lose in top 16 by not clarifying the ruling on this. But that's my fault. You live and you learn. On to the next one. Hieratic Seal. Got to end this. A couple of the other builds I was looking at was ending on Appaloosa instead of the Hieratic Seal. This just felt stronger, really, for the Quacky Mirror play, for the Drago, like I was saying. Any light and dark decks really just lose to that, where Appaloosa is a little easier to try to push through, and if you implements Appaloosa, that's pretty huge. You can implement this as well, but having those, negates and stuff it was a little bit better having that bounce and just some of the Drago. Paid off, definitely. The one Saryuja, obvious, don't really need to explain that. Don't need to play multiple because you don't have room, and the resources you're spending into the second Saryuja or the third in this deck is really what you need to go into your Hot Red and Boral Savage Orcust combo. You don't want to waste going into another Saryuja. Thunder Dragon's a little different because they can just keep going. This deck's it's just one Saryuja, end your board. The one Boral Sword, mainly so I have a play after turn 1, be able to come back turn 2 and just be able to kill them. With the Orcust cards, it's very easy to make this, especially with just a Skeleton, bring out Galatea, any 2 monsters, or even just Skeleton, bring back the Dingrisu after you make this, and that's game right there. Send a card, double attack. This is pretty explanatory. Also, there are sometimes, it came up once where I was trying to go into the Trishula, which you guys will see later, and I was Lancea in the turn, so I couldn't summon it, but having this be able to get rid of all 3 of my Guard Dragons let me extend the combo. That way I could keep going more dangers or dinosaurs or whatever non-dragons I needed to summon. He's really important, can't cut him. So then we have the Orcust engine. The Phoenix I was already playing just the one of to make sure you can hit like the Mystic Mine or any problem floodgates, but it's pretty handy. All you have to do is add a Mermaid to extend that combo. And then we have the 2 Galateas and the 1 Dingrisu. This is pretty standard for all the Orcust engines. Most builds are adding in. You really don't want to go too heavy and take away from like your Dragon engine. It's very, very slim to get all these in the extra deck. So that's it for the Orcust. Then we go into our Synchros. We have Ib. Can't really say much about this. I guess this deck was called Ib Turbo on the website, but I mean, I can't really argue with that, but I still would call it Dragon Link. Obviously, don't need to explain that. Hot Red. This is just better for the Mystic Mine. I was doing the Crystal Wing last time for the Super Poly reason, but because I have the answer to the Super Poly, this was just a lot stronger of a card to end on. It was bigger, just more, came up more, and also ending with the 4 darks, even if you did have the Super Poly, made it very hard to choose which 2 darks you're going to do. yeah, it was kind of like pick your poison at that point. The Borreload Savage, obviously Dragon Link, every Dragon Link picks this card. It's pretty insane. That's it for all the negates and the engine. The MVP of this deck, and I'm sure we are going to find more ways to break this card. This card is absolutely insane. There's a lot more that I wanted to do with this card and more that I found out with card. Shout out Landon. Definitely, this card's insane. If you guys don't know what it does, basically you need 3 monsters on the field with different names to summon it. You can contact summon them just by removing the cards. If those cards that you banished were dragons, then you get the extra effect where you banish the top card of your opponent's deck, 1 card from your deck that you get to choose, and 1 card from your opponent's extra deck that you get to choose. So basically every time I go first, I do the full board, go to Trish, look at the extra deck, take out the Starving Venom, and as long as they don't play 2, I pass and I cannot get Super Poly'd. There's no Super Poly target in their extra deck. So there was some other matchups like Striker, you just hit the Kagari, Salmon Great, you can hit the Mirage Stalio if they only play the 1. But almost 90% of the time, you're hitting the Starving Venom. That is the main reason of playing this card and ending on the board that I'm ending on. So that's it for the extra deck. Last part, side deck. We got, kind of was going back and forth on the side deck, kind of threw in all these things last second. Honestly, if I had to change anything, like I said, I would only put this back down to 40. I wouldn't change the extra, but I probably would change the side a lot. I feel like that is for every event though, and every player. You kind of have a hindsight after seeing what everyone played, and it's kind of, you know, well, I played this deck, so this would have been better. So, but I went with the Lancias just to make sure, cover the Orcust matchup, cover Thunder Dragon. Pure Thunder was getting very popular as well, so I wanted to make sure I could have something for that. As well as the Grand Maju deck that was very popular. Shout out to the Grand Maju guy I played. Thankfully for me hitting that Starving Venom, I probably would have got Super Poly'd and lost, but it looks like it still worked out for him. He got 2nd place, did better than me, so congrats to him. But yeah, definitely wish I would have seen this a little bit more against the combo decks and Thunder, but it was good. Maybe I add another one going forward. I'm not sure. Definitely something I would add another one going forward is the Impermanence. This card saved me so many times. In top 32 actually, I opened double going in my 2nd game against the Pure Thunder Dragon. It allowed me to hit him on his turn, and then when he ended just the Titan, I had the Impermanence on my turn just to push through for game. Other matchups like the combo decks mirror match, this card's just insane. It can't be called by the grave. It's honestly, without playing the Side-Frame Lambda in the extra deck anymore, this is a lot better than the Gamma. If I had played the Lambda, I'd probably be playing Gamma and Impermanence or some variation of the two, but without the Lambda, this is 100% the meta call. It can't be called by the grave. It stops the combo decks in its tracks. And you have some application of negating the spell and trap columns, but most players know how to play around that. It's really just for the combo decks. Definitely wish I had played more though. I would have changed the side for that. So that was pretty much it for the hand traps. This deck is really not a hand trap deck. It's really combo. Either I'm going first and I'm gonna, try to win the game, or you're going second and I'm gonna try and break the board to win the game. So not really trying to grind with this deck very much. So then we'll get into the back row hate. Gotta respect back row decks for sure. So 2 Twin Twisters. The only reason I did not go with the 3 is because I did decide to go with 2 Eradicators. Did not come up for me once the entire event, unfortunately. I only saw it once that I can remember. Really was there for Striker and, Altergeist just got a little bit popular. Any just back row decks, it really was the makeup for the 3rd Twin Twister, just a blowout. Especially if I did get into that grind game, this would just be insane blowout to help get back in it. So other than that, obviously, the 3 red reboots. Was not going to lose to the trap decks this weekend. Didn't play really many trap decks, and I think I only sided this once or twice. One of the times I remember I sided, I think, one just because the guy was playing a lot of infinite impermanence in the main deck, so I didn't want to get impermanence going first. So I just sided one in, but didn't really get to use the full value of this against like Altergeist, those decks. I never played any of those. There was a lot of combo decks that I played, and a lot of a lot of crazy combo decks. Shout outs to everybody. Luna Lights, the Gizmek, Grand Maju deck. It was a crazy YCS. It was crazy seeing what everybody was playing. Heard a lot of people saying they liked my deck too, so hope you guys did like it. And then of course, last but not least, the Super Poly Engine. This definitely brought me into some games. Definitely last round of Swiss, this thing saved me because of the Crystal Wing that they had. Unfortunately, they decided to negate his boost effect. They had no other negates on the board, and so his effect went through to destroy the board, and that honestly got me so far in that game. I honestly don't know if I break that board. I did have some plays, but this just was insane. Not much else you can really talk about this. This is really what I tried to counter. So if I'm trying to counter it and you're trying to beat it, why not just join them, right? Play it too. So definitely performed well. The only things that probably didn't were the reboots, eradicators, and probably the twins, because honestly I didn't play a lot of back row decks. More hand traps probably could have been better. Other than that, that is the entire deck. So we'll go into some shout outs. Definitely shout out to my girlfriend. I love you. Thank you for taking the video. Shout outs to Landon helping me test this deck, work on some ideas before. Shout outs to everybody, Team Ghost, of course, you know, Jordan, Matt, BB, Johnny, you know, everybody that we were testing and working on the deck. You guys know who you are, Team Ghost, you know. Let's see, who else? Jenkins for letting me use some of these dangers. Landon again for the impermanences. Jordan for the Orcust cards, and BB for pretty much everything else, because let's be real, I've gotten a lot of my stuff. Thank you, BB. I'm almost there. It feels like the top 16 is my curse right now. I can't get past it. Don't have the mat right now. I did get rid of the mat, so I'll do a quick little edit, show you guys the standings on the video so you guys can see proof that I actually did top. I'm not just making it up. And yes, Dragon Link did top YCS Portland. I don't know who's saying no Dragon Link's top. Don't listen to Konami. My deck's not Dragon Danger. It's Dragon Link. So other than that, be sure to check out my combo video coming out soon. Hopefully it'll be uploaded tonight. Yeah, be sure to give a like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really trying to, you know, I don't have too much stuff to bring you guys on the videos, but I'm trying to bring, you know, deck profiles, some pack openings, some cool idea, combo, you know, little things here and there. So if you guys want to see more, just let me know. Definitely be happy to bring as much as I can to the table. So had a blast. Thank you guys, everybody at Portland. Thank you for the event, and hopefully we get an event here in Colorado here soon. Next event maybe Niagara Falls, but most likely Dallas. So we'll see you guys out there. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
I'ma go ride the rave, ghost. I'ma go ride the rave. I wanna look at the stars today, ghost. I'ma go ride the rave, ghost.